Me. Want to come back to my place? Her. Want to come to mine instead? I understand. See, that's clever. I hate you. Me getting executed in 2025 for my meme folder? Get in line. Oh, wait, no, you're at the front of the line. Never mind. I'll get in line. How I look at bro when he says all bark, no bite after the Mexican cartel let us go with a warning? Okay. Your Honor, if it's illegal to drink and drive, then why did the bar have a parking lot? You know, that's a good question. I think it's because they also serve crappy food. See, that's really what you're supposed to go to a bar for, is to order a bunch of crappy food. Me turns off the big fan because it's too loud. Everyone else in the helicopter. That face, that look is a perfect look of confused fear. It sums up why would you do that so well. Me standing outside the women's self-defense class trying out their skills. Okay, sure, yeah. You do you, man. I don't even what the f*** do you want me to say? Billionaires doing esoteric rituals to convince the government they owe them nothing in taxation? They don't do any rituals to do that. They just pay what okay, not that much. They do pay the people in the government to not charge them taxes. That tends to be how it works, from what we know. Not a conspiracy or nothing. Lobbying is just super rich people and corporations paying politicians to not or pass laws. That's it. So the billionaires aren't actually putting in any effort. They're going, instead of charging me $1 billion in taxes like you should, or 2 or 4 or 20 billion or whatever, how about I personally give you $20 million and then you can just make it all go away. Bing, bang, boom, ipso facto, here you go. Them, all of them. Boomer humor, I hate my wife. Boomers, when their adult daughters say they don't see value in marriage, I wonder why. A lot of boomers got married way too early, man. I'm talking look, we met and started dating when we were 14, okay, and then we got married when we were 18, and we decided to just not really live life together. Instead, we watched TV, we ate TV dinners, we drank beer, we did nothing. We did nothing. You need to experience the world with your loved one. You should do that, okay? And not just once a year. For the love of God. For the love of God. Just book a ticket. I'm kidding, of course, Jesus. Even their world was not fit for actually experiencing things. When you're trying your best, but your dad disturbs you from the living room yelling, he's 33 now. He should get a job instead of sleeping until 2 p.m. I mean, I got nothing to say, Spider-Man, okay? I got nothing to say. You're Spider-Man. Why don't you just tell him? He might feel a little bit better about the whole situation if you're just honest. Dad, I'm a superhero. What the hell would you like me to do? Work at a pizza joint? Come on. That's silly. Why would I do that? I slingshotted my son's sticky bug to the ceiling, and as you can tell, they're both fascinated and excited for it to fall back down. Look at that little gentleman. Look at that guy. I mean, I don't know if they're actually a little gentleman, but isn't that just the cutest shit you've ever seen? Because it's the cutest thing I've ever seen. Hey Clark, how about I tag along to your next interview with this Superman? Wow, the sharpening filters you put on here look like absolute dog ass and were not necessary at all. I understand the joke. I do think it's funny. I've been seeing this a lot recently, specifically on Twitter, but now I'm distracted by how awful this looks. Dog, just either wait for the high-res digital shit to come out or just deal with the fact that it's going to be low-res. Quit making stuff look like garbage. It's stupid, okay? As a matter of fact, I think memes were more endearing by far when they looked like crap. Not like this crap, like low-res crap, you know? Nothing you could do about it. It's just all my sources were 12 pixels wide by 2 pixels tall, you know? That's it. How the pharmacist looks at me when I ask for a condom. What? What? I guess this one I'm confused about. Just asking for a condom? Asking the pharmacist specifically? I don't know, maybe it's based, my lack of knowledge about this is based on where I'm from. I've never asked a pharmacist for that. Is that the joke? Like, you're not supposed to ask a pharmacist for that? They're like, what the hell do you mean? Leave me alone? Take your prescription and get the hell out of here, you know? Parasites in humans, they cause stomach aches. Parasites in insects? Well, I don't think they're the same parasites necessarily, you know? Also, I don't know. Bugs are built different, obviously. I mean, look at them. Bugs, bugs, bugs. Your house belongs to the bugs, and there's nothing you can do. You better have gotten that reference, or I'm going to be real upset with you. People who let others merge in traffic, people who speed up just to block them. Man, the only problem I have with merging is if you are on the ramp coming onto the highway, I understand that not everybody's car is a frickin' sports car and can get up to speed as fast as possible. I drive a small economy car. It's not fast. However, it seems like more and more people are just straight up not even trying to get up to speed. If it's 75 miles per hour on the highway and you try to merge at like 40, you are dangerous. That is not how that works. Just for the love of God, try. Me still pulling all-nighters in my 30s, it's actually insomnia. Fire outfit though, dude. I gotta say, fire outfit. I am so glad that there's one thing I do not suffer from, it's actual insomnia. I'll have sleepless nights, but never before have I ever thought, oh dude, this is insomnia and I'm screwed. I'm very happy that that's like the one thing my anxiety has not given me over the years, man, because woo, I would be so angry all the time. This is what I mean when I say don't make me get out of character. So like, in a literal sense, you are, I don't know, I'm asking the wrong questions again, which is fine. I feel like that should be encouraged because sometimes the wrong questions will get you very good answers. But anyway, when you know why VPN downloads shot up but just can't censor it? Oh yeah, duh. Yeah, absolutely. Of course they know why. It was all a conspiracy, you see. VPN companies went out of their way to pay all of the politicians off one way or another. I don't think it's necessarily as easy there as it is here. Paid them all off so that their companies would shoot up in value and gain trillions of subscribers all at once. It's all a conspiracy, man. They're gonna get you. You're not even watching the movie. Me? Yes, I am. Don't do that. I'm serious. I mean, there are lots of times where I'm showing a movie where I don't really care. Like, whatever, this movie sucks, and that's kind of the point, is it sucks and it's stupid. Whatever, we don't have to pay close attention to that. But if I'm showing you something that's really special to me, we will be turning it off the second I notice you don't give a shit. All right, we will be doing that, and we won't be trying it again. We're just not gonna, okay? For me, that's sort of like a one chance thing. It will be clear to me that you don't care, and then I'm just not going to bother trying again. I don't know why I would. I don't know. That's where life has led me. I don't trust that anymore. Professors who haven't updated their slides since 2020, judging students for being lazy. Yeah, when they get tenure, dog, it's all over. I must be under some kind of a delusion. What the hell does tenure actually mean? Because I've always been told when you get it, you cannot be fired. So that's when a lot of professors will just start going, I don't give a shit. I can't be fired. I'll do whatever I want. Here, I'll show up to class naked. When someone starts crying in front of me, but I'm not good with that stuff, so I just stand there like this. Well, that's helpful. You could say anything. You know, I feel like you could say literally anything. Okay, not literally. Not literally, I take that back. There's a lot of stuff you could say that would be better than you just standing there like a weird chicken. Me, afraid to ask her out. She taking the first step. Man, I am under the impression that every woman ever wants to be left alone at all times. You know, people always ask, not just me, they ask a lot of men, like, well, why don't you ask? Like, well, because I immediately begin to think, well, you're probably not single. You're clearly not wanting people to approach you about that, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable, so I'm just never gonna talk to any of y'all at all. People don't approach me. People have literally never once approached me, and they never will, and I do not want to come off as a jerk or a creep or otherwise, so I'm just never gonna talk to you. It's just how that goes. Little kids, when they fall down and get hurt, them for 3 seconds, also them after 3 seconds. Well, yeah, they have to let it load, okay? That's a lot of data all at once. Pain, you know what I mean? That and a lot of pain kind of increases, you know? So while it may not hurt immediately, hold on, we're waiting. Oh my God, there it is. You've felt that before. I know you have. There's instant pain, like stubbing your pinky toe on the leg of a coffee table. And then there's, like, say you pinched your finger in a door. There's an initial spike of pain, but then like, oh God, it's getting worse. Oh no. When I use bro's phone to look up something and see the auto rotate on, I guess, like, well, I know it's implying, hey, you watch porn. So do you, dude. What the f*** is this about? Man, I keep that on so that I can watch YouTube at night, not in a thumbnail size. What are you talking about? Let's ban masturbating. Oh, good luck with that one, though. No. Let's ban things that we use to make it, I don't even know, is it more efficient? I have no clue what you would really call it at this point. That's not what it's about, though. That's never been what it's about. They genuinely just want to get to the point where they can start censoring all art because they don't like it, or because it doesn't talk about Jesus or something like that. They want to censor everything. This gorilla looks like he decided to hold his undergraduate philosophy like her outside since it's a nice day. I mean, yeah, he probably did. Is that a problem for you? When I know bro only studies robotics to build a sex robot but can't prove it yet? That is way too much effort. I'm sorry. I don't care how good the end result may be. That's just too much effort, dude. I don't care about robots. Man, gun owners, when they hear their window break downstairs at midnight, yeah, I gotta say, if you do own any weapons and you do somewhere in your brain have a desire to get to use them against another person, you're a psycho. Mississippi, can I borrow $20? US, are you gonna pay me back? No. All right, here's $5.7 billion every year. I'm not even gonna bother looking for a source. Sure, it, why not? I'll believe anything. Finally, I understand why cars have these things. This image is like 20 years old. It took you this long with this image and many others like it floating around all this time, and you're only just now realizing what spoilers have really been for? You're a fool. Me, when bro is showing the breakup text and I scroll a bit too far up, what was up there? I don't know what your reaction's for. What the hell was up there? Quit being secretive. Don't be sneaky. Just tell me. Be a big boy and tell us what's going on. I'll arrive in a Mercedes. Bro's expectation, reality. We certainly don't have any Mercedes buses here in Colorado that I've seen. That is interesting though. That's a swanky looking bus just because it has that stupid logo on the front of it. Also, what do you guys call this bus? This style of bus? Because we do have these in the US all over the place, mainly in very large cities. I always grew up calling them accordion buses. What do you call them? Comment down below or head over to my social media that's also linked in the description if you want to let me know what you call these weird buses. Making the internet a safer place for children, censorship, invasion of privacy, control. It always starts with, we gotta protect the kids. Literally every time. That is how it begins. And it's moved so fast this time that we can't keep up anymore. We're gonna lose, and the internet will become real weird real fast. Minors have less freedom to do legal things, but more freedom to do illegal things. I don't know what the f that means, but I will say that it is kind of crazy that there are no spaces really outside of the home where kids are allowed to exist safely, you know? Like shopping malls. I know kids are little assholes, for sure. We all were, you know? But it sucks that... like a local mall we have here, I went there, and on every single entryway, hey, if you're not 18, you can't come in here. Like, the erosion of spaces that not just kids, but people in general get to exist without spending money is gonna be a serious cause of our f***ing demise. When I was a kid, there were no phones or tablets. We read cereal boxes at breakfast. I don't give a shit. You're so much better than us because you grew up with inferior technology. I'm not defending, you know, iPad parents and stuff like that. I am just saying I don't care. You're not special. Who exactly are airport shops for? Like, imagine going, oops, forgot to grab a Prada bag and a Rolex that I totally need for my flight. I can't even imagine how expensive that stuff would be at an airport, location for the store, you know? I cannot imagine how expensive that shit already is. Like a $30,000 Rolex somewhere out in town, it's probably like $2 million in an airport. Boomers in 2010 telling me I shouldn't put personal stuff on the internet. Boomers in 2025 posting their ID and passport to every random website to protect the kids. It's always to protect the kids. I'm gonna keep saying it. Want to order pizza? I don't eat cheese. Crow of judgment. For medical reasons. You should have stated how weak your bloodline was in your Tinder bio. No. Elemental system. Fire/water is the strongest. The rest are niche and or irrelevant. What is this referring to? Like, I would like to specifically know, like, what games or whatever you're referring to here. I can't pick it out. You accidentally pour a potion on yourself? You're now immortal? Oh shit, you're now immortal? You're immortal, but are you invulnerable? These are two different things. I can be immortal and still get killed. I can still get hit by a truck. I can still have a cartoonishly large bank safe fall on my head while I'm walking around, or have a piano dropped on me, you know? Immortal. I get to choose when it's time to go. I get to stay a little longer. Invulnerable is kind of, you know, the other way around. You can drop whatever you want on my head. I'm good, but I might still die at 85 years old. When you shine a black light on her after a girl's trip to Miami, okay. Wow. I cannot begin to state how pathetically stupid this one is. This is the tops? This is the top meme right here? Is that what we're dealing with? It didn't take her a second to understand. What time was I born? Stay away from her. Thousands of goons giving Lil Tay millions on her 18th birthday. Me wanting the Epstein list public. We all still want that list. We're not gonna forget about that list. Although that whole thing with her is a seriously fucked up problem because, as people pointed out, if she had content ready to go for her 18th birthday, then all the content these weirdos are paying for, these creeps, these pieces of shit, is footage of her before she was 18. So, cool, awesome. Men wear $60 boxers for $3 worth of dick. They wear men. Women wear Victoria's Secret panties for pussy that ain't no secret. Look, these are funny, I guess, but what's up with the wear? Oh, it doesn't matter. Patience, Ted, patience. Have we not seen this one about 1,000 times? Look, I know I've been here a long time. I've done, 1,700 plus EmKay videos over the last 5 years, but I feel like some circle around more than others. Have we seen everything the internet has to offer? There's no way, right? For when you need the pizza yesterday, that is a sick delivery vehicle. But remember, those cars are really shitty cars. There is a reason they did not make it. They did not last, and shit, 88 miles an hour was probably its maximum speed because it was made out of thick solid steel and, was a pile of shit. Gentlemen, it is with great pleasure to inform you that I have been graciously selected to watch my female BFF's kid while she goes on a date with another guy. Graciously selected? You do realize that they don't get to voluntold you to do anything. She asked, you said yes. That's your fault and problem. You were not selected. What's the biggest lesson that employment has taught you? Efficient workers got punished with more work. Always, yeah. It goes back to the phrase, give an inch, they take a mile. So stop giving them an inch. That's why so many people work slower. They work slower, they work a little bit less, they work at a pace that they know is expected, because if you do good, you're gonna need to do gooder forever. Me tracking something after ordering it, always, I'll order it and like, all right, cool. Has it teleported to my front door yet? Thank you, Amazon, for once again giving the entire planet false expectations and having us take something for granted that we shouldn't. Having stuff be able to show up at our door in less than 24 hours after clicking buy is awesome, but you don't get to take that shit for granted. It can't last forever. It's not going to last forever. It is not sustainable. We need to go back to the mail-in order from the TV days like 25 years ago. Please allow 3 to 6 weeks for shipping and handling. We need that expectation back because good lord, coworker, are you doing anything after work? Me? No, I did things at work. Now I'm done. I do genuinely feel like that sometimes. Actually, you know what? I feel like that almost all of the time. Where I'll get finished with work and I'll think, finally, free time. And then someone says, you want to hang out? And I feel bad for going, I really don't. It's my free time. That's all there is to it. I'm going to stare at a wall for a couple hours and see how I feel after that. And then we'll see. I'm a little overwhelmed right now. Just give me a minute. 720p in 2010, 720p in 2025. I mean, dude, 720p back when that became like a broadcast standard was mind-blowing. It really was. We just had this exponential graph when it came to resolution out of nowhere. And now they're making 8K TVs, which I think is stupid. I don't understand that. But of course 720p was going to get left in the dust. It's not even HD on YouTube anymore. Yeah, it's not. It's great. After reading the negative effects of drinking and smoking, I've decided to quit reading. All right. Could this mindset potentially be why the American lifespan is dropping a lot? I guess we doing stars now. I have read the story so many times, and I still cannot for the life of me remember off the top of my head why Michelin started doing that. Wasn't it because they produced, like, travel guides, and so they would rate restaurants for the travel guides or something like that? I can never fully remember because I'm dumb. All the world's governments and corporations coming together last week of all times to start censoring everything. Hey, at least they can agree on how they want to control our art and media and, something important like that versus controlling our out-of-control climate and how in 100 years humanity can't survive anymore. Thank God. Whether or not he or she is real, they can agree on censoring our art instead of helping the planet and the entirety of our species. I'm so glad they're focusing on what's important. Protecting the kids. My last 2 brain cells watching me forget what I came into the room for. Dude, I don't even do that anymore. I forget what I clicked on a new tab for in my browser while I sit at my desk. No, grape, unalive, PDF file. You're allowed to use the actual words. Yeah, that's another part of censoring that's been really annoying, is there are so many sites or apps or whatever where people make their living where they can't say those words now. You know, if you say the word or kill or I was probably bleeped out. The editor probably had to bleep every word that I just said there. And I do apologize, Mr. or Mrs. Editor. I do apologize for that. But here on YouTube, we don't get to say those things because we all have a job. So we are censored for the sake of money. Stay home so we can make COVID disappear like the security footage from Epstein's cell. It's never gonna, it's never coming out. They're not gonna. Me watching politicians with one foot in the grave set policies we'll suffer from for decades. Man, I think it's so awesome that someone who has less than 5 to 10 years of life left making decisions that are going to affect the next 50 to 100 years. I think it's so cool they get to do that. Whoever told me to leave my car at the pub and take the bus home, turns out I was in no fit state to drive that either. Japanese teen invents underwear to make breasts look smaller. Thomas has never seen such bullshit before. It sucks that a teenager had to come up with. I know why she did. You guys know about Japan. You understand the Thomas part of this. It just sucks that they would have to do this to keep perverts and creeps and jackasses from doing what they do, or in an attempt to help them do it. They're in an attempt to. I don't know. I'm talking in circles because I have to. It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Why don't straight guys and lesbians hang out like straight girls and gay guys do? You know the answer to this fucking question. Do not play stupid. You know the answer to this goddamn question, man. What do you mean? What do you mean? Have you never heard a straight guy go, maybe you just haven't had the right dick before, honey? You know the why. When you know bro supports Tom from Tom and Jerry, but you just can't prove it yet. Turtles in cartoons when their shells are removed. Turtles in real life when their shells are removed. Yeah, it is a part of their body. It's not just something they find on the ground and crawl into. When your pansexual friend has you over for dinner and the food tastes extra salty. Schools start at 7 a.m., whether it's 6:55 a.m., whether it's 6:59. What a beautiful day to be locked in a building. Me watching the new hire skip lunch, skip breaks, thinking they'll get rewarded for working hard. I only skip lunch and generally breaks, or want to, because I've always subscribed to the idea an object in motion tends to stay in motion. Sometimes you do need to do that. Like me, personally, I don't. I don't need to stop for 45 unpaid minutes and stare at a wall. Just let me finish working so that I can get the hell out of here. IRS when billionaires pay zero taxes. IRS when I miss $2 in taxes. We used to have free speech on the internet. Source? No one is noticing my legendary hat because of my mom. Do you need a stepfather? Get it? Cause hot lady. When it's career day and your mom shows up with a webcam and a laptop. My new hamster. Meeting my old hamster. Yo, doc, why do you need a new hamster? I mean, the old hamster's still alive. It's not like they wear out. I mean, yeah, they die, but did you leave his body in there? When I accidentally click on a live with 2 viewers and the guy starts thanking me for joining his live. Uh-oh, now you gotta stay.
He knows my name, occupation. He can find out about my family.
When your civilization is so awesome that the History Channel doesn't attribute your success to aliens. Really? They never once tried that? No, that actually genuinely surprises me. Look, I'm sure they had plenty of good innovation. I mean, look at that road that we're staring at right now. Very clearly a very well-built road, although I will say, let's be a little realistic. I don't know if the Roman road would hold up to semis and 100,000 cars every single day like most of the streets that we drive on here, at least in the US. But yeah, well built, probably better maintained because, well, they didn't have to maintain it quite as often for many different reasons, you know? I mean, let's think about all the salt we pour on the roads every winter, depending on where you live. We shouldn't be doing that, but we're gonna keep doing it anyway because what else are we gonna do? But is that really the only civilization that the History Channel hasn't gone after alien-wise? Because that seems a little weird and unfair if you ask me. I know no one was asking me, but that's kind of why I'm here, right? Like at least a little bit? Anyway, whatever. Let's leave Rome in the dust. This video's not going to be recorded in a day. I'm kidding, it will be. It'll be recorded in less than an hour. Less than 30 minutes. Disgusting how these so-called vegans still drink water. That's a fish's house, you sick f***. Members of the X-Men when Magneto finds out which ones are rocking genital piercings. Why would he do that? Wait, where's he going? That's not space. Where the hell is that? Where is he sending them to? When she Googles it and you're still right. What a toxic marriage it seems like those two had. And man, look, I know that there's always going to be a certain level of quote unquote rivalry or silliness in a marriage, and there should be. There really should be. Not like actual rivalry, just you two teasing each other and being smartasses. It's when it clearly crosses the threshold and you get what, I mean, we don't know anything about their marriage. Like, I don't, and you don't either. No, TMZ reports are not the same thing as actually knowing, but from an outsider's perspective, it seemed like these two were really, 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 really bad for each other. Like, monumentally terrible. I feel bad for them both. Jesus, I'm glad it's finally over. But they clearly crossed that threshold. No more light ribbing, no nothing. It's just, hey, f*** you, all the time it seems like. And again, I just want to end this by saying, none of us know what it was like. No, you don't. No, you don't. How chess players sleep knowing they'll never buy booster packs of 50 pawns or pull a one-star knight that doesn't know how to turn left. You know what? I'm going to keep it real with you, G. I'm going to keep it as real with you as I possibly can. That actually sound, not buying 50 pawns, but if we started like playing chess with dipshit rules like that, where, oh no, you rolled a 2, now your knight can only go right. That's kind of funny, right? Like, don't get me wrong, chess is perfect as is, but it's kind of cool to spice up some of these games, in my opinion, and it's not inherently bad. Besides, what are they going to do? Monopolize chess somehow and make it so you can never play the original basic ass board game again? You can just draw a board on the sidewalk with chalks and grab a bunch of rocks and still play chess. So it's not like they can take it from you or delete it like, say, Ubisoft tried to do with The Crew, or is doing with The Crew and many, many other games. I can't really shout out Stop Killing Games anymore because the petitions have closed, but you should still keep an eye on Stop Killing Games and buy physical media literally at all costs. Also, get rid of Spotify. Screw that piece of crap company. Sorry. That's this is not an infuriating subreddit, so I'm not gonna get mad today. I'm lying. Parents who give their kids iPads at 4 years old wondering why they grew up with no personalities or friends. Oh, so I grew up in a different era, obviously. I'm old. I'm basically dead at this point, you know. Call me 85, I'm 29, so I'm basically there, right? I grew up just before the smartphone smash, you know. I think my mom got the first iPhone like the year it came out, and I thought, wow, that's crazy cool. You know, fast forward, I'm in high school, I finally get my first real, like, smart tablet phone. I think my first smartphone was a Samsung Blackjack. Love that thing, right? I did not grow up with tablets. I was not raised with that. However, what I was raised on was Skype, was my computer, was consoles and video games. The key difference here, in my opinion, being how much younger this seems to start, because I was not playing on the computer at 4 years old for 12 hours a day, okay? And they get to take these computers everywhere with them forever because mom and dad don't want their kid to make a sound. They want them to be hypnotized, which is bad. Stop letting your children be hypnotized. That's sort of a problem. On occasion, a pacifier's fine, but seems like things can get a little out of hand. You know what I mean? How Cartoon Network felt putting in not safe for work jokes and cartoons meant for kids. You think it was just Cartoon Network? Dog, it's been every animation studio forever. Hell, my personal favorite one ever. If you have an old VHS, I'm talking like 80s, 90s VHS, copy of The Rescuers from Disney, the original Rescuers, there's a lady's boobs out in that movie. Straight up live action picture of boobs. It's there for one frame, but she's there. And it's really impossible to see, especially on a VHS, but it is there. It does exist. You know, everyone likes to look at, say, The Little Mermaid having a dong on the front cover of its initial releases, stuff like that. It's not just Cartoon Network, dude. It's everyone. Hell, I'm pretty sure My Little Pony Friendship is Magic had a lot of not safe for work jokes or references to media that absolutely are not meant for children. I remember distinctly they very obviously referenced The Big Lebowski. Not a kid's movie, but those characters exist in Ponyville, dog. When Shoddy thinks you're cheating on her, so she goes through your phone and all she could find was shit like this. Would she be more or less upset? I know the realistic answer here, but for real, ladies, come on. Would this freak you out a little bit more? Obviously, the answer is no, but come on. This is weird. Like, I get it, he's The Rock, but that's Geodude. So, I know he is he's a rock type, whatever. I don't know. Isn't it kind of fun? I feel like we're going to look back on The Rock's era of stardom in such a weird way. We're going to look back on The Rock's run through Hollywood the same way a lot of people my age are starting to look back on the bacon craze of like 2010 through 2013. You know what I'm talking about, where everybody wouldn't shut the hell up about bacon. They made it a personality, t-shirts with bacon. Like, it was just a whole thing. I know you remember it. Hell, let me ask you a question real quick. When does the narwhal bacon? VPN companies in the UK right now? Man, I'm so conspiracy brained at this point, it makes me wonder if the VPN companies were in on it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, of course there's talks of banning them, so no, not realistically. We gotta keep our conspiracy brains low, even though I will say, you conspiracy theorists are very creative people, and you should do writing. No joke, you guys should be authors, you should be writing comics, you should be making videos, movies, because seriously, y'all's brains work in a way that mine certainly cannot, alright? My heart does go out to the UK right now, but hey, over here in the US, we gotta remember, they're trying to pass a bill that will also do this to us. YouTube is going to be requiring you to verify your age in like 2 weeks. I mean, hell, maybe a week or less from the day this video goes up, YouTube will be requiring ID verification. And I know a lot of people out there will say, well, I mean, they've already got basically all that info anyway. It's the precedent that's being set under the guise of protecting kids. It absolutely has nothing to do with protecting them. It's about controlling you and watchdogging you, and if you do a single thing someone doesn't like, cool, they've got your identification, they'll hunt your ass down. They don't need it to get all that information, but it's just another goofy-ass tactic to freak you out and make you more complacent and compliant with all of the rules that, quite frankly, none of us should be f***ing following. Follow me on Twitter for more totally based political takes. You just won a match. They move you to the unemployed lobby. What? The unemployed lobby? I'm confused about this one. No, I'm sorry, I don't. I thought for a minute it was an auto-balancing reference or something, which is totally fair and fun, and hey, Valve, can you f***ing fix that in TF2, please? But no, I don't know, man. I don't win matches, so maybe that's why I just don't understand, because I generally lose all of the games that I play, especially that life one. I'm not kidding when I say I'm a lonely man. Mozart on his way to get verified on Spotify. Is he not verified on Spotify? No. Hold on, I'm opening Spotify really quick. I need to see this. Okay, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. What? He's not? Is there someone out there just uploading Mozart's music and making bank? Because it's like 7 million monthly listeners. I do wonder, is there like an estate or something? Not that I think that Mozart's works should be copywritten and like listed and not be allowed to be, look, it's been a long time. His tracks belong to all of us. I'm sorry. Every single one of those should be free to listen to, free to use for anything you want. But I do wonder about this. Is someone out there just uploading Mozart to Spotify and raking in some money? I mean, that's 7 million listens a month. That can't be nothing, right? 13-year-old me when bro told me that my parents could see my search history on the Wi-Fi bill. Was that must have been a thing at some point, right? Well, no, that doesn't make any sense. Like if you're purchasing stuff online, maybe, but that would be more like you get your credit card bill. I don't recall ever seeing websites or search inquiries on any of my internet bills. And that goes back like 20 years, right? To when I basically first got internet, you know? So I don't think so. Sir, a second breach has hit the T app, okay? Wait, oh, I know what this app is. Yeah, that sure is ridiculous. So many people immediately proved women right in that moment. Yeah, let's build a network that doxes women and encourages men to go and find them. That's cool. That makes total sense. Dude, more and more every single day. I mean, I've always been a big proponent of men not being pieces of garbage, but it just seems like more and more each passing day, I'm like, man, I don't associate with y'all sometimes, you know? Or, you know, let's say 60% of the time, right? I am just out in the ocean trying to be a normal dude, okay? Paramount canceling The Late Show, South Park season 27. I do appreciate South Park absolutely giving them the works. It's been great. South Park has only ever had one serious instance of them being held back or censored with anything that they say or do. Genuinely, I think episode 200 and 201 is like the only time that the network has ever fully stepped in and gone, you will not do this, you may not do this, you cannot do this, and they kind of just had to go, shit, fine, you know? But I don't know, maybe. We'll see if someone tries to pull that shit on them again. I really don't think that you can rein in South Park. When I start sleeping 10 hours a night, stop eating, and lose my sex drive, Uh-oh, that sounds like depression, like a lot of depression. It sounds like you're going through a big old wave of depression that you should definitely get checked out. You really should. I fundamentally believe that you are in the beginning of something that, if not treated, could really mess with you, man. So get the help you need any way that you can possibly think of getting it. Coldplay watching Astronomer's ex-CEO threaten to sue them for ruining his life. What? I know about the situation, and I've been very, very annoyed with how long that joke went on. But did he really say that he was going to try and sue Coldplay for cheating on his wife? All the dude had to do, all the both of them had to do, was just stand there. I don't think there's any chance that anybody would have given a shit. It was the Streisand effect in real time. It was beautiful. Dumbass. There's no way. No legal case. Plus, CEO of what? I don't know what his net worth is, but I feel like Coldplay and their label have a much higher, stronger net worth and legal team behind them. So, all right, buddy. I wish you whatever luck you're owed, which is almost nothing. A few femcells getting ready to dox and slander some dudes on the T-app, allegedly. Some random 4chan incel stumbling on a folder in a public cloud dump with 13,000 driver's licenses of T users. Yeah, see, that right there, allegedly. Oh my god, whatever, dude. This whole situation's bullshit. Fishing as a hobby and sport, fishing as a livelihood and career. Yeah, I can't imagine it's an incredibly fulfilling, fun, awesome job having to do that. Like, day in and day out, you smell like crap, you're out on the goddamn ocean, net fishing, destroying entire ecological, like, sections of the planet, letting fish just choke to death on the... I know that's not really what it's like, but, you know, it's not a pretty freaking industry for sure. I call my coochie the lotto, because men are lucky to hit it. I thought you called it the lotto because you're always scratching it. Where the hell are we right now? I know I've been a little bitchier than usual this particular recording, but where in the world are we? It feels strange, right? I don't know. It kind of feels like these memes have been sourced exclusively from the Facebook accounts of 58-year-old divorced dads who wear Oakleys in their profile photo, and none of them have truly come from Reddit. I guess this is what I get for not really keeping up with the times. I don't browse Reddit personally ever really anymore and haven't for a long time, but UK citizens, whole world enjoying titties on the internet. Well, hey, a lot of them are still figuring it out. Don't worry. Don't worry. If there's a will, there is a way. Right now, VPNs are not banned there. Okay. Sure, they were extreme, but they kind of had a valid reason for their aggression. I don't know who the guy in the top right is. I apologize. I don't remember enough about Tai Lung. I've got some little inklings here and there. Couldn't tell you about Doofenshmirtz. It seems like as far as a supervillain goes, he's actually just a really cool guy that's reasonable, and all you gotta do is invite him to hang out and play Mario Kart, and he's good. You've saved the world. Now him on the other hand, I completely agree with. Your girlfriend, wife, or whatever is falling for a bee. First of all, you discover that bees can talk. Second of all, you discover that, again, one is stealing your wife. I don't think they were married. I think they were boyfriend, girlfriend. Either way, it's weird. She's weird. That's weird, all right? Maybe he could have toned it down a little bit and actually brought up more of a calm, collected argument, but you don't hire Patrick Warburton for that. You hire him to scream and yell and go for Cusco. Me noticing the limp in bro's walk after he started dating the 6 feet goth girl? Yeah, you put 2 and 2 together there. She got a big one, brother. What's the problem? Those strap-ons can get mighty large, my friend. What, you shaming your bro for getting it on and clearly having a good enough time to be limping the next week? What are you doing, huh? You getting any, friend? I don't think so. So you sit there and you think about what you're not doing. And you keep thinking about what your buddy is... Actually, don't do that. That's a little weird. Don't be thinking about what your buddy's doing. That's wrong, okay? You can make them both feel uncomfortable, but you think about what you're not doing there. I'm afraid that in a moment of weakness, I have purchased this t-shirt. Ask me about my duck disguise. That's not bad. I feel like this was also a little micro trend. Like, when I mean micro trend, right? Like, this type of shirt was around for like a week and a half. Not this one in particular, just the whole ask me about blah, 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 pull it over your head to reveal a surprise sort of thing, right? I saw one that was clearly meant for ladies that had big old boobs, right? And that was the joke there, so that they would flash you one way or another. But yeah, it was like a little tiny blip. And then everyone was like, well, I'm never gonna wear this shirt again. Donated them all to Goodwill. And then the next generation got $2 shirts they could be silly with for years to come. Hot girlfriend who likes him for his personality. Average rich guy. I gotta say, super rich fellas, why don't you I mean, some of you are pretty good about your physical fitness, your health overall, but why is it there are so many of them that don't seem to be concerned about that? If I had $1 billion in the bank, obviously there's so much I would do, but at the top of that list, I'm hiring an in-house chef who will cook me the healthiest crap that he could possibly manage, or she could possibly manage, day in and day out. That's their full-time job. And I'm gonna have a full-time personal trainer who's gonna keep my ass in line so that I get to maybe one day be that 85-year-old guy that can still pick his grandkids up or run around the block or something like that. Running around the block is what, Harrison Ford does every day, I'm sure. Tell us about UK freedom, Dad. You could criticize the government, watch whatever you wanted, leave the house when you wanted to. I even went to a protest once. Wait, what do you mean leave the house when you wanted to? Are you sort of seeing the future where you're being locked at home? Like, are you what's going on here? Is there something I'm not in the know about over in the UK beyond what little I do know? How the female co-star looks at Pedro Pascal when he's having anxiety mid-interview? I mean, shit, I'm sorry. This one has annoyed the hell out of me because it seems like some firm out there must have been hired to randomly start smearing the shit out of Pedro Pascal out of nowhere. I think it just unfortunately comes with the territory of being the household name in Hollywood right now, Everyone knows him. He's currently getting all the roles. It's Pedro's 15 minutes at the top of the Hollywood food chain, right? So of course, people are gonna start hating him for one reason or another. The more I look into it, the more I see all of those people that he's apparently being creepy with, love him to death, have said he's an incredibly respectful guy. He fights for the right stuff. He's very vocal about people that he should be vocal for. He seems all around, as far as celebrities on their way up, to be a pretty decent guy. I know that this meme, it doesn't, from what I get here, it's more like, ooh, yeah, Pedro's hot. No, please, have anxiety with me. I don't know. I've been really annoyed by this recently because it just came out of nowhere and it feels so forced. I've seen plenty of celebs out there that clearly do make their co-stars mega uncomfortable and get weird and gross with them over the year. I've seen plenty of that. Doesn't feel even remotely the same with him. I don't know what to tell you. I like Pedro and I have seen nothing from anyone that has made me think, you know what? Damn it. I trusted again. When you tell a slightly offensive joke at the dinner table, mom, dad, younger sibling trying to figure out the joke, grandpa, this one's gotta be old, right? Sometimes there's a sheen over a meme that lets you know it is old. It is ancient. I have no proof. This clearly was at the very least made in 2014? The Hobbit was out by then, so we got that new Smeagol, because that is not from... No, that's not from... No, that's him trying to figure out the riddle. Sorry, I could do this all day. I could, but we can't. Games with realistic graphics are the only ones that are fun to play. I don't know a single human being that has thinking that's stupid. That is incredibly dumb. That's super narrow-minded and... well, plenty of other words I could use. I really hope that none of you guys think that graphics equal good game. Again, I've never met anybody that's like that. Dude, one of the best games that I have ever played, like one of my favorite top 5 games, is To the Moon. To the Moon is not a super gorgeous, amazing game. It's not ugly, but one of the best games I've ever played. Full-on narrative experience. If you have not played To the Moon, please go play To the Moon. I can almost promise you will bawl your eyes out. I only allow myself to play it and its sequels every 5 years or more so that I can still be impacted. Me writing my Cars fanfic where Lightning McQueen has a foot fetish in a world without feet. Well, then how could he have it? What would Lightning McQueen, where would he have seen feet? How would he obtain a fetish about a body part that does not exist in that world without it actually having existed in that world? Do you think he just had a nightmare or a crazy dream, saw feet and went, oh yeah, wow? I don't think so. I don't know. I feel like your fanfic is going to have a lot of holes, man. Plot holes. Here. UK government websites. Websites thanks to PS5 gamers? Huh? Oh, sorry, just Googled it. I am loving this, by the way, because it's not... So, the story goes, people are using Death Stranding 2, specifically the high-res image of Norman Reedus, to bypass this by just uploading a selfie of him there. People have figured out you can use Gmod to do the same thing. So these are very easy to bypass. And if we all do it en masse, what are they going to do about it, right? What are they going to do? Okay? POV, you're the one who created bi-weekly pay, and I discovered time travel. Yeah, I've never understood bi-weekly pay. It feels like so many of the systems that we experience, I mean, I know it's not a uniquely American thing, but it seems like so many of the things we experience over here in the United States were specifically designed to pin all of the average citizens in the country to the ground by the neck and make sure they can never get up again. Soda and energy drink companies trying to convince you that diet, sugar-free, and zero are 3 completely different things. I have been driven mad with this. I understand, like, I don't mind Diet Pepsi. It has a taste I actually kind of like. I kind of prefer it a little bit to Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why are we doing this? It seems like ever since the Xbox One came out, billion-dollar corporations completely forgot how easy it is to name things. Everything is so confusing and stupid now. I know I'm putting my effort and energy into the wrong things to care about, but why is everything so complicated and stupidly named? I'm going to watch Dexter just to figure out what this guy's problem is. Whoa, hey, what what was that? Excuse me? I'm sorry, I'm still watching this. Why did what is he doing here? What is he doing here? What? I'm sorry, I was gonna talk about Dokes and how it is Dokes, right? And how he suspects that Dexter, because he's a little weird, is a murderer, and he was totally right. But what's up with Pedro Pascal? What? Huh? You got me, dog. Wow, he is literally me. Wow, he is literally me. Women deal with periods, pregnancy, menopause, and what the hell do men have to deal with? Women. What? Come on, dude. I'll tell you what men have to deal with. Oh, man. Well, we do have to store all our pee in our balls, and that can get really heavy and weird. How insurance companies think teenagers drive? Are they completely wrong? The myth of consensual gaming. I consent. I don't. Isn't there somebody you forgot to ask? No, and collective shout can go straight up their own assholes. No one out there gets to tell me or gets to tell you what you may or may not buy with your own money. Don't give into this crap. Be an asshole, be a jerk, be a snarky piece of shit. They have zero right to take away our right to purchase things. They're going straight to hell. Also, that logo is a butthole. Block, improve quality of living. UK government trying to increase birth rates. Is that what they were doing it under the guise of? I thought it was protecting the children again. When a meme is fire but OP used AI to make it, then it's not fire. It's not fire. So you don't have to wipe those dipshit tears off your face and downvote him, because it's not fire if it was... What do you got for me? Cats, dogs, and I'll take all of it. 5 stars. 4.6 stars. Collective shout. Babe, it's 4 p.m. Time to get more video games removed. Yes, honey. MasterCard, you guys are the motherfuckers I've ever seen. Yeah. Look, even Valve came out and said you're full of shit. Stop it. Get some help. And look, I will unironically get incredibly mad and infuriated about the situation that is happening with Collective Shout and them opening the floodgates for other organizations to come out of the woodwork to then begin telling us what we can buy, what we can view, what we can't buy, what we can't view. No, absolutely not. The buck stops with Collective Shout, in my opinion. It should have stopped before they were even a thing. Joining the army at 16, browsing adult content on Reddit. Doctor, congratulations, you have a son and he looks exactly like you. So he's gonna get ignored by girls too. I'm sorry, son. What do you mean? You have a son, you dipshit. How did he come into being? I'm sorry, is your wife and or girlfriend just not real? Grok 4, human brain, needs a massive structure and a city's worth of power to run 1.7 trillion parameters. 20 watts, 100 billion neurons, over 100 trillion possible connections, and still pretty dumb. Other jobs. If you make a mistake, you can try again. You learn from mistakes. The surgeon? Well, here goes another one. That's just a cartoon. Horse Girl Japan. Horse Girl USA. What the f*** is she doing? Yeah, I'm sorry. Horse Girl USA. Huh? I don't care if AI replaces my job. I just need my boss to realize he's also replaceable. Don't say that. Don't say you don't care if AI replaces your job. We all need to care about AI replacing our jobs because it is intended to replace all of our jobs. Sure, your boss might feel safe now, and we do need to make sure that upper management understands they're not safe at all. Don't say you don't care if it, yes you do, yes you should. Students, teachers need to teach us how to do taxes and get jobs. Also students, if they did. Redditors, when a petition that got voted by 0.5% of the population gets ignored. This is the what? Sort of No, absolutely not. You thought you were influential. Nub, please verify your age. I organize everything by category. Then why is lesbian always trending on straight accounts? Are you crazy? That's universal. social. Interacting with content you like as you scroll. Upvoting 1 time a day for this. I don't know what that means. British government when a petition to reveal an ID verification law reaches more than 350,000 signatures. Duly noted. No. Yeah, man, it's so cool that they've actually set up a situation, a way to actually get the government people, the parliament, whatever, to look at something and discuss something, and all that actually happens is they go, all right, so we got this petition and we're going to throw that away and go back to whatever we want. It's amazing that people never, ever, ever, ever have a voice in the 4 people that work in government and control the hundreds of millions to billions of lives. We never get a say. Some people masturbate more than they brush their teeth. Who the hell brushes their teeth 15 times a day? When your wife is about to order pizza, but you only hear her pressing 3 buttons? Me noticing how the female character's breasts got bigger when the anime's ratings went down recently? You would notice that. I fear no man. But that thing, I don't know what that is, but if it scares heavy, I'm not going anywhere near.